Hello, I'm Alex Merced, and you're listening to Economics. Why not? On this show, every week we're going to be talking about different economic concepts and economic news. If you enjoy the show, please think of supporting the show by becoming a monthly patron by going to patreon.com/AlexMerced. Also, make sure to check out libertydeal.info for all sorts of great products and special deals that you can get through the show, which will also help support the show. And plus a cool reading list over there at libertydeal.info. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced and welcome to another episode of Economics Why Not? And in this episode, what I want to talk about is some more of the basic building blocks of economics, the ideas of supply and demand. So I kind of did things out of the normal traditional order. I've already talked about things like marginal utility and money, and now I'm doing supply and demand. But I think so far everything's making sense, I hope. And again, if there's any topic you want me to talk about, email me at alexmerced@alexmerced.com. Now, first things first, supply. Supply is just the amount of whatever good producers in the market are willing to create at a given price. So if I was a producer of bananas and bananas were selling for X price, the supply would be, well, for that much money, I'm willing to sell you this many bananas. That's supply. Now, of course, as prices change, the amount that I'm willing to go out and get and make is going to change because it may be more or less worth it for me. So if the price goes up, I'm going to be willing to go make more bananas or pick more bananas because I'm going to make more money. And it's going to be worth the extra effort if the price goes up. Now, if the price goes down, I'm not going to be making as much money. So my desire, the benefit out of me making more bananas to sell you is less. Okay, and it's not just my own personal desire to bring bananas to the market. The idea is that the price goes up, other people who don't already pick bananas are going to get in, start picking bananas and selling bananas alongside with me. And if the price goes down, some of those other people who've been selling bananas with me may decide to just say it's not worth it and stop selling bananas, me leaving me by myself. So it's more that aggregate total amount of people who want to sell. Okay? And then there's demand. Now, demand is the amount that people are willing to buy at a particular price. So let's say Kobe beef. For at X price, I may buy so much Kobe beef. Maybe Kobe beef wasn't the best example. Let's say like a pack of gum. I might buy so many packs of gum. But if I were to increase the price of gum, I may not buy as many packs of gum, and so won't others. So in that case, by increasing the price, you've lowered demand. And vice versa, if you decrease the price, I'm going to suddenly hey, I'm going to go stock up on some gum. So you're going to increase the demand. So this is what we mean by demand curves shifting. Now, if you go to LearnEconomicsNow.com, there are videos where I can explain this whole supply demand thing more visually. But bottom line is there's things called supply and demand curves. I recommend watching the videos over there at LearnEconomicsNow.com so you can see kind of how they move depending on price changes. But conceptually, I think we got it. So when prices change, so if prices go up, generally people will supply more, but people will demand less. And then vice versa if prices go down. Now, basically, at any given price, there's a number where the amount supplied equals the amount demanded. Okay, so at a particular price, those two things will equal each other, theoretically. That's called equilibrium. So at X price, I'll make 50 bananas, and you'll buy 50 bananas. And then that means the market clears, because basically there's nothing left over, and there's no one left over who didn't get a banana. So basically everything kind of worked out perfectly. The market cleared. And it's not that there's any particular reason you want the market to clear, but naturally, individual incentives are going to make people want to kind of move towards that. Because if I'm the producer, if I'm the person selling, and I set the price too high, not enough people are going to want to buy what I'm selling. So I'm going to have what's called a surplus. I'm going to have too much because I was charging too much. That's not good because I want to sell all of it, especially if I'm selling bananas. Those bananas are going to go bad, and that's money I'm not going to have been able to have made. But, so in that case, I'm going to lower the price. But if I lower the price too much, I'm going to sell all of the bananas really quick. And there's going to still be people in line willing to buy bananas, which means I could have made more money. Okay, so basically I charged too little for the bananas and they sold out too quick. So I left money on the table. So I'm going to want to increase the price of bananas in that situation. So the idea is, from the producer's point of view, I'm constantly adjusting the price to clear the market. Not that, again, there's no natural reason why we want the market to clear. It's just our natural behavior that kind of drives us towards that. And it kind of, when you think about it, it's kind of a better world if, we made exactly what people needed, not making too much and not making too little of anything. So that's why you want markets with market prices. Those prices help inform producers that whether they made too little, too much, because you can see whether I have a surplus or a shortage at any given price. And you can keep adjusting prices, which keeps adjusting supply and demand to basically get closer to each other, get closer to equilibrium. Now, you never really kind of hit equilibrium because it's not just one thing in the whole world that you buy and sell. You're constantly making choices between buying and selling infinite numbers of things and services, etc. So basically, different changes in the price of one good are going to affect how much you want that good, which is going to affect how much you want other goods. So basically, all these different supply and demand curves of all these different goods and services are constantly sort of feedbacking on each other and changing each other. On top of it, new technology that lowers the cost to produce things or the value of owning things. So, for example, someone designed something that would keep your teeth clean and white forever without ever having to brush them again. The demand for toothbrush would just collapse. So there's all sorts of different things that are affecting the supply and demand curves constantly. But the idea is that by setting a price on what you're selling and seeing whether you sell out or whether you can't sell out, you can begin adjusting the price and getting closer to what the market demands. When the market demands, we mean actual people, what actual people want. This is why when you try to distribute goods and services without markets, when you sit there and say, hey, you know what? Like in communist countries, we're just going to let the central power determine how many eggs we make because, sharing, equality, we want to make sure everybody has eggs. But does everybody need eggs? No, maybe somebody would have preferred bananas. I'd rather have 3 bananas and 1 egg, and somebody else would rather have 3 eggs and 1 banana. So these kind of things can't be figured out, or maybe nobody wants any eggs at all, so we shouldn't have wasted time making eggs. There's no way to figure that out until you've already produced the stuff and you give it out and people don't use it. Problem is, you've already wasted time and resources that could have been used to make something else. And sometimes when you have that central authority, they're so distant from the result of these production decisions that they don't adjust. And this is kind of why when you've seen most attempts at communism, socialism over the decades and over the centuries fail. Because they don't know how to properly allocate resources. But markets help that because, again, through the pricing mechanism, we can kind of determine whether we made too much, whether we made too little, and adjust and constantly be adjusting as the world changes. It's a constant feedback loop that allows people to kind of always be working on it. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Supply, demand, equilibrium. Hopefully you guys found this very interesting and helping you think like an economist. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. And again, as always, check out LearnEconomicsNow.com. Support the show by going to patreon.com/AskEconomist. Alex Merced and becoming a monthly supporter, which means you'll get invited into a special group where you can talk to other fans of the show and my other shows about stuff and be able to ask me questions and all sorts of good, fun stuff. I'll see you guys on the next one.